Hello everybody and thanks for watching. So in today's video I am building a new controller for another milling machine. It's going to be a lot like the other controller that I built for the splining machine. It's going to use the same UC100 controller. It's going to use similar motor drivers and power supplies, and ultimately it's going to be a 4-axis controller that's USB running Mach 3. So in this video I've got the donor mill here, which is one of a few pieces of equipment I recently picked up, and I'm going to get that moved into the garage and off the trailer here, and use my old Harbor Freight engine lift that I actually found in a recycle dumpster behind the shop one day. Needed a new ram and some new pins, and it's been a trusty engine lift for me. I don't think I could have gotten this done without it. So that and a crowbar, and here it goes. Here's just a real quick shot of what was underneath that plywood. I've got my loading ramps with a couple of 2x4s on it, and that kind of helped bridge the gap between the end of the trailer and the garage to slide the mill across. As far as what happened with that big chop saw on the trailer, well, let's just say it rolled itself right on off and leave it at that. Alright, so we're going to get started on building the box, and what I have here is a box that I've actually used before. I used it on another CNC Masters mill, but it was the benchtop mill that I had. So I've already got 4 holes drilled out through here for the 4 different stepper motor connections. On the bottom, I have just a strain relief for the whip for electrical. A really hack job with the Dremel putting a parallel port connector through there. We'll ignore that. And I cut out a hole for some ventilation to come through the bottom. On this side, I have this cut out, which fits basically a plug. So you could put from the inside of the box, you'd have your little outlet for the 220 that goes to the motor on the mill. Up here, this is a USB breakthrough so that it can connect to the computer. And a fan that's going to be sucking air from the hole through the bottom out. So when I put my power supplies in, I'll mount them up at the top of the box so that the heat that they create just gets thrown right out. Inside of the box, I have used this before, but I have to cut a new panel because my old one is currently in that box. This piece of aluminum is a little bit too long, so I'm going to go ahead and get this cut down. Check twice. Alright. Alright, so now that this fits in here, I gotta mark out where the bolts go through. What I'm using here is a number 5 center drill. I Really like the holes they usually make through sheet metal. They're fairly round, and it's got a nice little starter bit on there. Makes it a good one-pass drill. Alright, let's see how good my measurements were. Getting to the point where I have to harvest some parts here, so I wanted to show you what was going on. Basically, here's the original CNC Masters control box, but this box on the side, it was here when the business before me bought it, and it bypasses the original communication box that CNC Masters would have had in here. So in here, you've got your 4 motor drivers. 2 of these have heat sinks on them, the other 2 don't. Those are some old Gecko drives. They don't put out a lot of current for running the size motors that they've got on here. So that's been a big problem with this machine, is it thinks that it's pushing when it's not, and the motors aren't actually turning. So they ran this board, and this board is an older model. Haven't seen it available from the manufacturer, but let's see if I can get the numbers off it. If not, I can get it later in the video here. But I need this board because it's got all the opt-isolators on it to go from the parallel port to the UC100 controller I'm going to be using. So I need to harvest this out of it. The newer one that CNC for PC sells is a little bit different than this, but basically works the same way. So I'm gonna get this box out of here, and we'll finally say goodbye to that one. So I've gone ahead and stuffed all my components in there, and it's roughly where I think everything's gonna go. I've thought out all the wiring so that I've got enough terminal blocks for my AC and my 5-volt. And I think it's all roughly where I want it. I did make sure that when I was putting this power supply in, I got enough room to get in there with my screwdriver. And then that's also the reason, if you notice, they're offset a little bit, is again so you can get in there with the screwdriver once these are all bolted down. So the couple of things you want to look for is make sure that you can still access everything that's bolted down. Otherwise, I did end up moving the USB down to the lower port, where originally it was just a strain relief for the electrical to come in. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the electrical come in the top, and it's going to route down through here, and that way I can still have my power going out for the mill. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get this all kind of marked out with a Sharpie, get an idea, ballpark it, and then I'm actually going to use this ruler down here as my straight edge. Going to give me all in lined, and my spacing off the bottom and off the sides for everything. Alright, so what I got on here is a 832 drill tap. So it's got the tap cutter up here and then just twist drill down there. So I can drill and tap all of this in one pass. Alright everyone, that's it for today's video. I've got everything mounted in here. I'll have the next video of wiring everything up and configuring it to the computer in the next video. I want to thank everyone for sticking through to the end, and also just thank you guys very much for anyone who's used the Amazon links. I will be posting links for all of this stuff below in the description. And again, thank you for any support that you can give the channel. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and have a great rest of your day.